Tech is getting hammered in today's sell-off. CNBC's Magnificent 7 index dropping more than 1%. Well, there's a new emerging threat to mega caps' massive spending and America's dominance in the AI race. Deirdre Bosa digs into that for today's Tech Check. Hey, Dee.
Hey, good morning, Leslie. So here's a name that our audience may want to write down: Deepseek. This is a new, free, open source AI model that beats the latest OpenAI and Meta models on key benchmarks, and it was made for a fraction of the cost. Now, it was trained by a Chinese research lab that used NVIDIA H800s. That's a lower performance version of the H100 chips that are cheaper, more available, and tailored for restricted markets like China. Now, I've been testing it out this morning, and on the surface, it looks and acts just like OpenAI's ChatGPT. And in fact, it actually thinks it is ChatGPT. When I asked, what model are you? It answered, I'm an AI language model created by OpenAI, specifically based on the GPT-4 architecture, suggesting that it was trained on ChatGPT outputs, which, leaving aside terms of service violations, it means that entirely new state-of-the-art models can be built on what is already out there. In other words, OpenAI's moat may be shrinking. If a model like Deepseek can emerge with competitive performance, minimal cost, and reliance on existing outputs, it signals a rapidly shrinking barrier to entry in AI development, challenging the current dominance of industry leaders like OpenAI. Based on technical tests designed to measure its coding performance, Deepseek outperformed other models, including Meta's Llama 3.1 and OpenAI's GPT-4o. And by the way, those are the latest state-of-the-art models. And that led Andrej Karpathy, a founding team member at OpenAI, to post, Deepseek making it look easy today with an open frontier grade LLM trained on a joke of a budget. Now, to put that budget in perspective, it's pretty mind-boggling. It costs just $5.5 million versus hundreds of millions of dollars for Meta's latest Llama model and billions of dollars for GPT and Gemini models. This all raises an important question for investors. As the AI trade evolves and technological progress stalls, is training frontier models even a good investment anymore? Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, OpenAI, they have made that a core mission over the last few years as they continue to spend billions building out AI infrastructure to train ever bigger and better models. Deepseek did something highly competitive in just 2 months with dumbed down GPUs for less than $6 million. And guys, let's not forget this fact. It comes from China, whom Sam Altman and others say poses the greatest competitive threat to the dominance of U.S.-led AI. Now, this model is going to be tested in the weeks and months ahead, but the implication, guys, of this is just massive and will ripple through the AI community.
Wow, Deirdre. I mean, we've been talking this morning about, obviously, the CapEx that we're expecting to be spent in 2025 on exactly what you're talking about. What is the core competency then here of the Chinese? Obviously, they're not using the latest chips. They don't have the computing power. They're not even spending on that. So what are they doing well?
And yet, I know, right? And yet, you're right. They don't have all those things. They don't even have access to H100s. And yet, they have built a model that competes with the ones from OpenAI and Meta. I mean, they've done this out of necessity, using H800s, which, like I said, is a dumbed down version of the H100s. They've been able to do this, which essentially just means that these models are becoming more commoditized than ever. As that progress, the technological progress stalls, it's all about what can you build with the existing frontier models. And this is a perfect example of what a company that doesn't have to have built all the architecture, doesn't need those high-end GPUs, is able to do simply by taking existing outputs. It also raises questions between open and closed source models, right? They were able to do so. This is an open source models. That was always the fear here with Meta's Llama, is that it gives the Chinese an advantage. It turns out the Chinese didn't even need Llama. They just needed stuff that was already put out there by ChatGPT and others.
Now, wow, Deirdre, I feel like this is going to be a huge story in 2025 and the geopolitical ramifications of all of this as well. Really appreciate it, Deirdre.
小红书